My name is Arwa. I volunteer with YRF, an organization that provides relief in Yemen and advocates in the US to end the war.
And my name is Danaka. I'm the Yemen campaigner at CODEPINK. CODEPINK has been working in coalition with other organizations like Yemen Relief and Reconstruction Foundation to stop US involvement in the war in Yemen for years.
As many of you know, Yemen is experiencing the largest humanitarian crisis in the world. This is a crucial issue that needs to be addressed. However, Yemen has a rich history and culture that also deserves attention. The Beyond the War series aims to showcase Yemen outside the context of war and center Yemeni voices. We hope to break stereotypes and build solidarity with Yemeni communities. Today, we have Lana Luqman with us to discuss Yemeni cuisine. Lana is a Yemeni-British citizen of the world. She grew up in Yemen, Somalia, and France. When she left Yemen 6 years ago, she discovered her passion for Yemeni food, which she will share with us today. For further information, please refer to her bio.
Anyone attending can ask questions throughout the event. For those of you who are joining us via Zoom, please try and ask questions in the Q&A section, and we will direct those questions to Lana after she's done. So Lana, without further ado, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Arwa and Danica, for having me on this platform. And Ramadan Kareem to everyone, because Ramadan is almost halfway now. And I would like to, I'm very appreciative of this invitation to come to speak on this platform. And let's take you through this amazing and unique dishes of Yemen, and inspire you to go ahead and try them out and see for yourself what you would wish to see next. So once upon a time in Yemen, Yemen was called Arabia Felix. So Arabia Felix was a land of queens, the Queen of Sheba, and which is called Saba in Arabic, and the Queen of Arwa. These lands flourished and were called Arabia Felix because of the pleasant climate and the richness of this country in agriculture, in spices, in music, and in architecture, in so many other things, in so many other ways. So no wonder that Yemenis brag about their food. You know, they know that they have a very rich culture in food, and they brag about it. So let's start. So let's put Yemen on the map first. So if you are here on this platform, you probably already have looked up Yemen and you know where it is on the map. But let me just walk you through it a little bit. And if you can see here, if you go on the world map, you can see this small little country, which is strategically located between east and west, and it's like in the center of the globe, and it connects east to west. So it's a land of very ancient civilizations, and many references to Yemen are found in the Quran. Some of them are found as well in other scriptures, like in the Bible, where according to the Bible, Noah says that it is called, refers to it as the land of milk and honey. And again, a reference to food. And it is the land of frankincense, where it is said that the three wise men, when they presented the newborn Jesus with frankincense, this frankincense came from Yemen. But today we are here to speak mainly about Yemeni food. So Yemeni food is very distinct, very different to all other food that is in the Middle East area. And this because it reflects the country's complex history of trade and the influences of migration and colonialism that have affected Yemen. So Yemenis are foodies, yes. They like their food. They never skip a meal. Yemenis have different kinds of food for breakfast, different types of food for lunch, different types of food for dinner. So the recipes are quite different. The portions also are quite different. They brag about their food in their songs. They brag about their food in their sayings. And of course, the climate of Yemen helps because if you have checked out the map of the relief of Yemen, like the central part of Yemen and the western side of Yemen is mountainous, and the rest is on the western side. You have a partial like desertic areas, and then you have a big area which is mainly a coastline. So let's start with the trip of food in Yemen. So I try to make like a small map of Yemen that you can see on the bottom hand side. And we'll start along the coastline of Yemen, where mainly the dishes are made of fish and shellfish and crustaceans. So you have something called sayadiyya, and there is something called mutafaya. These two dishes are like the main dishes in the Aden area, which is on the Gulf of Aden, and close to the part of the Gulf of Aden is part of the Indian Ocean. So the picture on your right-hand side, the bottom picture is the one with sayadiyya. So sayadiyya is usually a dish with fish. It's very spicy hot, and spicy. It is either red or sometimes without tomatoes, and it is fish cooked in rice. Then the next picture just above that is called Rabis. So it is from the Mukalla area, also in the southern part of Yemen. And it is a kind of fish mince. It is very spicy as well and packed with flavor. And the special about this fish is that it is made of a very specific fish, and that's shark fish. But we don't use the big shark fish. We use baby sharks in this dish. The picture just above that is the maqla hudaidi. So you can see the maqla is basically a maqla is like a pot, and the pot in this kind of region, in this region by the coastline, is made of pottery, like kind of pot. It is also a fish dish, sorry, in a red sauce and very, very spicy. Of course, all dishes that have a sauce are either eaten with bread most of the time. Some of them are eaten with rice, but most of them are eaten with bread. The top picture is also called mutafaya, which is also from the Aden area, and it is also a sauce dish, but it doesn't have any vegetables in it, while the maqla hudaidi, the one just beneath it, has also vegetables in it. Of course, all dishes have dips, and the dips are like achar, the sahawiq, bisbas, etc. And there's many dips. So the next slide will showcase different dishes that are from the northern part of Yemen, and the central areas of Yemen. So the very first picture on the top is the Salta, which is um, many people think of it as the dish of Yemen, but it is not actually the dish of Yemen, but it's the dish of the Sana'a area and the Sada area and the northern part of Yemen. It is basically a broth, which is to which we add vegetables and a very specific sauce, which is hulba. And hulba is like a fenugreek sauce. It is poured over the dish, and you see the pot is a stone pot here. The first pot was a pottery clay pot, and the second pot here is a very dark stone pot. Then, so the broth is called maraq in Arabic or in Yemeni Arabic. And you can see how it is presented in the second picture, in the middle picture, in the pot, and the hulba is poured over it, and it's steaming hot in general. Now, the last picture is a dessert. It is called Bint al-Sahan. It is my favorite dessert. And it is very, very hard to make. It's a very difficult dessert to make. It is a bit like a millefeuille, which is a French pastry. It has lots of layers of dough. And in between each layer there is ghee. So when you bake it, like this, the different layers separate, and it is eaten with honey, also from Yemen, and the best honey in Yemen comes from the Hadramaut area in Wadi Hadramaut, and it's delicious and it's very hard to make, and I love it. And regarding Bint al-Sahan, Bint al-Sahan is eaten in different ways. Some of the areas they eat Bint al-Sahan before the food, some people eat it with the food, and some people eat it at the end as a dessert, basically. So at the end, I had just an idea that we talked a lot at the beginning about dishes and food, and so that's for all the people who are chefs who like to make dishes. But some of us are also bakers, and they like to bake bread, basically. So with the bread in Yemen is there is so many different breads in Yemen. So it's too many that I just put one slide and I put the names. Like the first one on the top is ratib, the second one is khabz tawa, then you have the lahoh, which is made with which is also from the central areas of Yemen. Then you have the mulawah, which is in the middle areas of Yemen. Then you have kudam, you have tamiz, and all these breads are made with different kinds of grains. Like tamiz is corn. The khabz tawa is a mixture of like white flour and brown flour. The kudam is like 7 different types of grains. So you can look out for the names, just try them out, go find websites where you can find the recipes for these. There is more to Yemeni food than the dishes I have presented to you. So much more. But I just wanted here to make a list for you guys to put on your aprons, go look up Zurbian, look up Mendi, look up Harish, look up Fattah. In some areas it's called Ma'soub. Look up Asid, and try them out. You have at the end, I'm going to leave a slide with links with people who have they have recipes both in English and in Arabic, and you can try them out. And since it is Ramadan, at the end, I wanted just to present to you the finger foods that are eaten in Ramadan, such as the top picture on the right is shafut. I know Arwa likes that. And then there is the bajia, there is the khamir, some places they call it bakhomri. And then there's the cutlets, and then there is the samosa. And you can see that, for example, the samosas is an Indian influence. So some of the dishes in Yemen have been influenced by the migration and the colonialism, but still the Yemeni food has maintained its uniqueness. Even if they had external influences, they embraced it and made it their own and owned their own food. So you have here a list of other foods and some drinks as well, like tea and qashar, which are the coffee husks, which I don't think anywhere else in the world people make tea infusions out of coffee husks except Yemen, and the naqi', which is a grape juice. Finally, these are um, the the two links and some foodies that you might want to follow on their they are on Instagram, like Fatma Al-Baiti and Vanessa Mehri, Sukaina Al-Shami. They're Yemeni foodies, and they always have something um, on their Instagram about Yemeni food, so you can maybe follow them and get inspired and try them out. And the two links, of course, of Shiba Yemeni food and Sufra as well. They have lots of recipes, Yemeni recipes, and some of the recipes we have talked about just now. And of course, Yemen has so much more to give beyond war, beyond food, beyond many things. There is beyond coffee, there are beyond Yemeni jewelry, beyond Yemeni songs and Yemeni singers and songwriters. So I've put a few names of also some people that might inspire you to go and look, and then you can look for others as well. But these are platforms of people that that I follow, that I've seen, and it's just for inspiration to, if you wish to help Yemen, go and see these people, see what they're doing, and spread the word of all this. And this ends my presentation, and I hope this was inspiring to all of you. And please come have some tea and let's have questions.
Thank you so much. That was such a wonderful presentation. So yeah, if anyone attending has any questions, please put them in the Q&A section. We actually have our first one already. Carrie is asking, which of the breads are yeast-free?
Are yeast-free? I don't think any of the breads are yeast-free. Probably the tamiz, because it is the base of tamiz is actually it's, let me go back and see. So it's this. I don't know if you can see my mouse. It's this one. It is the one in the middle top. It is made of, it's tamiz actually, and it's the one with corn. I think it is yeast free.
Great. Thank you for that question, Carrie. I'm very biased just because it's Ramadan. So I saw all of the Ramadan dishes, and I was wondering if you could walk us through a couple of the most popular ones for iftar.
Yes, of course. So this is the slide on iftar. So the sambusa is like the Indian samosas, but it's quite different in Yemen. The dough is very thin and it's very crispy. It's not as bulky as the Indian ones. They're really small. We make them really like bite size or like 2 bites maximum. We don't make them so big. Then there is the bagia, which is a bit like falafel, but it's not made with the same kind of like the falafel is made, I think, from a different kind of grain. The grains we use in the Yemeni, let's say, falafel, which is called bagia, is a grain that is in Yemen, basically. It's grown in Yemen. So I don't even know the name in English. I'm really sorry. And of course, every house has khamir, which is the bakhumri, which is like a small dough, like the triangle ones, which are here on the right hand side. And my favorite, of course, is shafut. And I was telling Arwa just before the presentation that I made shafut yesterday for iftar. So I don't think we have leftovers, or I would eat that every day. So shafut is made from lahah, which is one of those where is it? Yeah, it's made of lahah. It's the one with the little holes, the bread with the little holes. Then we add to it yogurt and some spices like cumin and salt and pepper, and and the yogurt, we add to the yogurt spring onions and chives. All these we mix in a mixer so it becomes like green, and then we pour it over the bread, which is the lahouh. And of course the lahouh just like sucks all the juices in. And then on top we put pomegranates. Where am I gone? Yeah, we add pomegranates and some green salad, and then you actually eat it the way you like. If you don't like pomegranates, you don't put the pomegranates on. If you you can cut the Yemen doesn't have lots of salads, so our salads are quite basic, like the normal, like the Greek salad with cucumbers and carrots and tomatoes, and we actually cut these really tiny in very small cubes, and we eat it with the shafut. We put it on top of the shafut, and that's how we eat it. There are some other salads like but that are eaten with other things, a bit different, but not really. Yeah.
There's a follow-up question about shafut. Kais is asking, are there different kinds, and does it differ in the north and south?
Well, yes, it does. So the shafut that I just explained is mainly in the northern parts of Yemen. In the southern part of Yemen, where I actually come from, we eat it in a different way, and we don't really make it green. So what we add into the yogurt, it's still yogurt or like kefir. What we add in the yogurt is that we add just spices. So we add garlic, cumin, and pepper, black pepper. We put it in a mixer, we mix it all together, then we pour it into the yogurt, and if you have yogurt and you don't have kefir, you can just add some milk to it to make it a bit thinner, and then you pour it over the lahouh, and we make a separate dish, which is either a red saucy mince meat, or like small pieces of meat in a thick red sauce, and we pour that on top of the lahore, and we eat it that way. Yeah, so there is a different way of eating lahore, and actually I think every different household has its own way of eating desha food. People, they make it in different ways, so it's these are like the basic or most common ways.
Yeah, I love hearing about the variation in the types of food.
Yes.
And it's interesting because the bread that's the base is very similar to the Ethiopian bread as well, but slightly
Exactly.
in flavor. Our next question is from Alexa, and she asks, is honey the typical sweetener in Yemeni foods and desserts?
Well, unfortunately, not anymore. Now that people know about sugar, they use sugar a lot more. But in lots of the Yemeni desserts do use honey in them, like the fatta, for example. I don't think I put a picture of fatta. The fatta is basically one of these breads, which is the bottom. Oops, the bottom one on the right hand side, which is mulawah, and like we cut it in really really tiny pieces. We put it in one of the clay pots or one of the black stone pots. We heat it very much. We add to it butter or ghee in some areas. Then you can add to it. Some people add to it bananas. Some people add to it dates. Some people just add to it milk, and then everything. Any of these recipes is topped with Yemeni honey. So this is one of the recipes that is using honey. Yes, definitely, honey is a major thing in Yemen. In Yemen, we even eat bananas with honey. So you break the banana, you dip it in honey. You should try it. It tastes really nice. And you dip it in honey. And Danica, you like to have your banana a day. So Danica, maybe you can try that. Dip it in honey and just eat it.
Oh yeah, we love bananas. I will try that. That sounds great.
Yes, it tastes really nice.
Farida's asking if we're sharing recipes. I don't think we'd planned on it, but Lana, can you tell us maybe where we can find some Yemeni recipes?
Yeah, I put them on the links here. I don't know if this presentation would be shared.
Yeah, I can, while Arwa's asking the next question, I can link their accounts in the chat.
Yeah. Okay, so these are two links of Yemeni recipe, people who do Yemeni recipes online. But you can find, I mean, if you speak Arabic, you'll find a lot more. If you speak English, I think these two, if you want, I can copy them if I can. No, I couldn't copy it. I don't know why. Yeah.
Here, I can put the link
if you can, if you can put the link in the chat, maybe then people can just copy it and go to it. Okay, where is it? It's here. And actually the first one, Shiba Yemeni Food, is done by Catherine. She's an American who used to live in Yemen, and her husband is Yemeni, and now she lives in the States, and she loves Yemeni food, and she's amazing. She does lots of Yemeni recipes. But if you speak Arabic, you will find lots of recipes online.
Thank you. Our next question is from Allison. Hi, Allison. That asks, Do you have
Hello.
any favorite dishes that you associate with your childhood or growing up?
It's hard to choose. I do have one of my favorite dishes is the sayadiya. It's the very first one I spoke about. I can go back to it. It's this one on the right hand side, the bottom one. I love fish, and I love fish the way in the rice. Yeah, it's very special to Yemen. I know that in Lebanon also they have something called sayadiya. It is not exactly the same way that we do it. And I once I had some Lebanese friend over, and I made sayadiya, and he was amazed that it was called sayadiya, and he said, "We have sayadiya too," and I said, "Yeah, great. Does it taste the same?" He said, "No, it doesn't." So yeah, I think I think this one would be one of my favorite dishes. The other favorite of mine is, of course, salta. Yeah, I love salta. Salta is if I start eating salta, I can't stop. I just can't stop. Yeah, it's one of my favorite dishes as well, because I lived most of my life. I left Yemen very young, so I lived outside of Yemen for a very long time. But my mom always cooked Yemeni food at home. We never stopped eating Yemeni food. Yeah, I think same for you, Arwa. Your mom still cooks Yemeni food. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just eating feta right before this. And also, as someone who's half Yemeni, half Lebanese, I feel very represented by what you just
Yes,
said.
I know. You can ask your dad about Sayediya. It's different from ours.
I'll make sure to do that. But this brings us to our next question. Are there any dishes, special dishes for certain events, such as weddings, childbirth? Is there any special Yemeni dish that people make for those occasions?
Yes, there are some dishes that are made for these occasions, but Yemenis are they love their food. They will make, for example, zurbian is usually made during weddings, and like big occasions, if you invite people over. But people also make it because they want to, because they like their food. So yes, there are dishes that are made during occasions, but they are also made during off occasions. Uh, yeah, and because zurbian is like sayadiya, it is meat that is made in rice. It's a dish that is easily shared, and Yemenis like to share their food. Um, and and it is even served in like one big plate where people sit around, and we pour all the meat and the rice in the middle, and you just pull to your side the quantity that you want to eat, and you eat it like that, when you're sharing. And that's how we eat in like weddings and in big events, and um, even in funerals we make food. Yeah, we make zurbian, and usually in funerals people will bring you food to your house. If the funeral is in your house, you don't cook for, I don't know, a week or 10 days. People will keep on coming with food, and to allow you to mourn and to not to think about food, and to do anything else, basically. Yeah, they'll clean your house, they'll do the dishes, they will do the food. Yeah, there's a quite strong sense of community. Yes.
That's wonderful. Noor is asking, what is the name of the bagia grain in Arabic?
What's the name of the yeah, it's called dugra. it looks a bit like how can I say, you know, the tiny black beans, but it is reddish in color. It's not black. It is more reddish, but it's called yeah. It's very specific to Yemen.
Aisha's asking, Yemenis use lamb meat a lot. Can you talk about the different ways the meat is cooked?
Yes. So the meat in Yemen is essential. You know, the Yemenis, even for example, if they have like 2 or 3 neighbors can go and buy a whole veal, a whole live veal, and they will just go have it to the and have it slaughtered, and they will share it. And it's called shirka, and this is where the word hawaij shirka comes from. Well, shirka means sharing, and this is where the word comes from. So meat is cooked in so many different ways. I just didn't want to go there because otherwise it's endless. So in one of the slides that I showed here, for example, this one, where the man is standing, this is meat. It's called midfoon. They make like a pit with stones, and they put coal at the very bottom. Then they put the meat in banana leaves, and they cover, of course, the coal with stones, and then they put the meat over it, and they cover the whole thing again with stones, and they just let it cook. So this is called madfoon. Yeah. Then there is mandi that everybody, I think many people know, and you can find the recipe quite easily. And then this is like baked in the oven. They just put it in a plate, an oven plate, and you just rub it with some spices, and you cover it quite tight, and you put it in the oven. Then you have it in broths, in all kinds of broths. So you have it with just with onions, and you fry it a lot with a lot of spices, so it becomes a bit dark, and then you add to it some water, and you leave it to simmer for a long time, so it becomes really tender. And that's the one we use in fahsa usually. And you can cook it also with boneless. You can cook it with vegetables like okra, and there it is cooked in a sauce, in a red sauce with okra. You can use it in something called dabih. You make lots of vegetables, and you put the meat in it also as well. So the meat is eaten in so many different ways. Yeah. And in this picture, for example, this is zurbian, the picture on the bottom right hand side, and it is meat in rice with potatoes. It is a bit like biryani, the Indian biryani that many people know, but we put potatoes in our zurbian. And I don't know why the Indians, they never put potatoes in the rice. It tastes so much better. Anyway, maybe I'm biased.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Kais is asking, how is katlis made?
Oh yeah, Catlace. Catlace is my daughter's favorite. She made it yesterday for iftar. So this is the little balls of potato, and inside you can actually well, the normal recipe is minced meat, that you do a mince, and it is dry without any tomatoes or anything. So you make the mince with spices, with green chilies, with onions, and you just fry it. until it cooks quite well, the mince. Then you make the potatoes a bit like a mash, but you don't let it become too soggy. So you boil the potatoes and you mash them. Then you make them into small balls like the size of your palm, and you put the mince inside and you roll them so that they become, I think I have one right here. Let me show you. I have an actual one that we're having for today. So this is cutlets, and inside, you put the mince inside, you roll it, and then you put it into some eggs and some breadcrumbs, and then you fry it. That's it.
That sounds delicious. And we want to make sure you get to your food. Lana kindly joined us while fasting, and I think it's around iftar time. So our final question,
Mhm.
and we ask all of our speakers this: do you have any jinn stories that you can share with us today? And bonus points if they relate to food.
Any gin stories?
We love to end with a jinn story.
Unfortunately, I'm very bad with stories in general. I guess I'm losing the bonus points.
Fine, it's not graded.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I'll pass it over to Danica now.
Yeah, thank you, Lana, so much for being with us today. We really, really appreciate you. We know you have to go break your fast. So thank you. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. We loved everyone's engagement and thoughtfulness. Also, another huge thanks to Lana. Our next event will occur in May. So make sure to subscribe to CODEPINK's YouTube channel so you can keep up with Beyond the Beyond the War series. And if you miss any episodes, that's okay. If you go into CODEPINK's YouTube channel, there's a playlist called Beyond the War where all of our episodes will be. And thank you all for tuning in. And thank you, Lana, again. And thank you so much to Arwa and Yemen Relief and Reconstruction Foundation.
Thank you all for having me, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it inspires you to go and to find out more about Yemeni food and Yemen in general. Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone have a great day.